There we go. Alright. So we're back in PTR. Give me a moment. Love it. Yeah, we're just gonna go over a few things. Apparently the PTR forums, Reddit, and various places are not too happy with the changes. Which, I mean, I have my own gripes about certain things as well. So I think some are good and some are bad, obviously. Okay. Turn this off. Alright. Okay. There it goes. Alright. Sorry. People in the Discord channel already, or not the Discord channel, the Twitch channel are bugging me. First time here. What's interesting is I had a pop-up screen for, you know, streaming soon. And the very first message out of this bot's mouth was, first time here, stream was fire. I'll be back next time, becoming a fan, let's connect. Discord is blah blah blah. And I just find that oddly hilarious. Sorry. Like, yeah, my stream was fire for all of the couple minutes that it was on a background showing you that I was streaming soon. That makes perfect sense. Sorry. Come on. If you're gonna bot, at least be, you know, reasonable. Come in the stream like an hour in or half an hour in. Pretend like you were there for a little bit and then, you know, start flattering me. But other than that, I don't need your help, son. Sorry. I just find it funny. Anyway. We'll get to this in just a minute. Doing some things here. Alright. Go. Split the screen. Just 1 second. Okay. There we go. In any case. I think we're going to go down a couple levels in Torment just to make it a little bit easier for testing purposes. Okay. So, let's see. So the forums, I was talking to some other guy, and he said that the PTR reports are not looking good. And I asked him for context. Basically, he said overall feedback on the new direction for itemization seems to be very negative, as in can't really find a single positive comment on it. Same for Reddit, comments on relevant threads seems to be almost universally hated. I'm not holding my breath that they will reverse course. That hasn't been their MO. It's just a shame because it seems like such a huge step backwards. To which I followed up with, thank you for the context, that helps. Are you finding players don't like the overall changes or specific changes? For example, uniques being upgradable to mythic, changes to allow rerolling of affixes on both uniques and iconic mythics, and or the changes to the iconic mythics now essentially being nerfed. He said it's definitely directed toward the additional layers of RNG attached to the items. No set stats, the new mythics are completely random. Seems like quite a few players are aware now that most of the item hunt revolves around the cube. The nerfs to the existing mythics are just the turd candles on the poopy cake. Which is kind of funny, to be fair, but yeah. And I can agree to an extent. I don't agree with their whole thing of changing uniques into essentially another legendary item. Because that's what they've done. Especially when it comes to the cube. The only thing you can't do with uniques now is literally put it into the enchanting, and you can't change whatever you want. Like, I feel we're one step away from that. to be fair, you have the cube, which essentially does the same thing. It's just a little bit harder to get what you want. You can narrow it down by the prisms, sure, but for the most part, you know, it just makes it more difficult. Fresh meat. It's a hook with a hand and a severed foot on it. Interesting. I don't think I killed him enough to actually get his trophy on the season. I don't even remember if I did kill him once. Went to his lair and killed him. I don't think I ever did. Ash of the Charred Duke. Yeah. Commonly found from Astros, sometimes found from Nightmare Dungeons. What about this one? World Boss. World Bosses and Legion events. Sometimes found from Tree of Whispering, Mercenary Bardings. Okay. Did not realize that, but yeah. Any case. Nothing. One, two, 6, 7. Alrighty, what are we gonna test today? Got decent gear. World Boss is up soon. Fishing's over there. I don't want to do fishing. Rune crafting. Lair bosses. All this junk is normal. Warlock quest. Don't want to do that. So I know it said the Rift stuff, but apparently that's not. It's not available in Zarbinzet, which we went there before. We still didn't see it. I'll check again, see if they may have added it, but I haven't been keeping track of the forums. Let me... Excuse me. I haven't been keeping track of the PTR forums. Let's see. There's nothing from the CMs and the PTR forums, which is fine. I thought maybe they might have had an update for like a patch. Sometimes they do, but not always. It depends on PTR and if they're adamant about changing things. Let's check here again. Alright. I gotta worry about, oh, they did mention you could... This is, in my opinion, this is one of the weirdest decisions they've made that just seem pointless to me. They've allowed you to change the name of your pets, which again makes no sense to me. I don't even know how you can rename it. Yeah, there it is. Instead of Lothroot, I can name it whatever, which makes no sense to me because if you're out here, you can't even see the pet's name. It's not like I can tell what its name is, nor would I want to see its name. That is just, it makes no sense. There's something under gameplay for showing your pet's name. I don't display pet name. I'm sorry. There it is. I think I've clearly... either pet means something else, or I have to actually name him for it to show up. One of the two. I'm not sure which. Say, oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm gonna try and get this thing to work. The crab with the knife is just a hilarious name. That's probably why they did it, because people thought it was stupid to just have a name of crab with a knife. Well, you know what? That is not working. And this should be crab with... You can't even type in the whole thing. You only get maximum of 12 characters, so I can't even type in the full sentence of the crab with the knife. I wouldn't want to get rid of that name. Alright. Like Bloody Billy. That's 6. Barely. That would barely fit with the space. Yeah, it's just dumb. What the hell is this? Oh, Murloc. That's amazing. Nice. Interesting. Shira, Herald of Hatred, Pandora. Let's do Iris. Why not? Iris can, you know, I'll just name it Iris just to make sure it works. Wait, what did it say? The name has been reset to default. Iris is... What a great name. Iris Test... Iris's Test. What a great name. Yeah, that's just... Iris's... Alright. Sure. We still can't see its name. So that option didn't work. Our notifications show all tutorials. Nope. Alright, well, one more bug. See if display own character's name works, because at this point, I'm not even convinced that's gonna work. Of course, mine works. Realmwalker joined, Realmwalker. Oh, here it is. Okay. I guess I just wait for it. Begins in... Okay. So this begins in about 8 minutes. Alright, so similar to... Oh, it even shows up on the... Okay, that's cool. So you got about 10 minutes to get here. It's similar to a Legion event. Or, was it 8.5 minutes to get here? Whatever it was when it popped. Same exact as like a Legion event. As soon as that pops, it'll let you know. You don't have a lot of time, but... Like a world boss where it tells you like an hour before it spawns. But okay. And that's the only place it spawns. Legion events all over. World bosses up soon. See, there's... And this is another thing that I would like to see is... World boss spawns, it should be in 3 different locations in my opinion. Should be one in the main continent that we had before, one in Hantu, and then one in Skovos. Just have one pop in each one. Legion event should also be the same exact thing. If there's a Legion event down in Skovos, there should be one in Hantu, and there should be one in the main continent somewhere. If not multiple in the main continent. That would make so much more sense to me. But it is what it is. As I say. Got crabs. Crabby pants. He just wiped his ass. Yeah, I think he did. Oh, watch streak reach. Shimada is currently on a 5-stream streak. Yeah, he is. Like a boss. Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. We got about 6 minutes. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do in that 6 minutes, but we'll figure it out. Okay, SSF feature is in the PTR, yes. It's a checkbox. Really need a global chat channel. SSF charge can't use trade, which I get, but the trade is the default chat hub since we lack anything else. I kind of agree with that. And it's always fun to just talk to people in just a global chat. But I mean, if you're solo self-found now, there'd be no point to have a trade chat because you can't trade. So kind of defeats the purpose. I think solo self-found would be good for the game though. In general. Faith Lever GFA was the person who came into my stream when it was not even started and said that we should hook up on Discord. Yeah, that didn't happen. Sorry. Unless you're paying me, I am not going to hook up with you on Discord. Thanks. Alright. Let's see. We have here Project Slot Machine Season 14 is awful. Blizzard tested BOL build now in internal and as a benchmark for noticeable changes. Greater war plans. Buff normal ways to farm gems. Tiers reach 800 times is miserable. Buff all normal gem sources, nightmare dungeon keys, and farm boards. See, I don't have a problem with the gems myself. I figure there's one of two ways they can go about it. They can either give us more gem fragments or gems dropping in general, or they can just lower the cost. One of the two technically would work. I will say in terms of... yeah, hook up. I will say in terms of like Diablo 3, it was much easier to get a maxed out gem. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it definitely took you less time than it does in Diablo 4 for sure. Like there's no question. Conjuration tag on Inferno. All the positives from S13 have been undone. Really? I don't think they've been undone at all, to be fair. I think certain things from Season 13 were doubled down on, like the unique thing, Cube. Felt like it was an unfinished project until we saw the changes coming in the PTR, and then eventually Season 14 with the ability to change your affixes on the uniques themselves, along with the iconic mythics, which is just bizarre to the fact where you can just essentially make your best in slot items. And that's not what mythics or uniques were about. Trade-off was you couldn't have it be your best in slot with the affixes given. It was the best in slot because it offered the aspect power, not because of its arguably less than ideal affixes on it. That was the trade in power that you took from uniques. And I thought that was fine. It made sense to me. You have some good with bad. You get a unique that adds an affix that's like, yeah, I would have wanted that to maybe be crit chance or a damage type of some sort, or maybe even a resist or an armor. But, you know, it just didn't happen. And you made it work for as best as you could. That was the whole point. It's kind of the whole point of Diablo in general. You an item drops, make the best of it with what you can. So, whatever. Unique charms. We got like a minute left. Nobody's coming out here to join me. I feel very lonely. Hopefully I can solo this thing by myself. No, we're going to be in for a very rude awakening. Let me see. What is my... Toughness is 1.3 million. I'm almost up to 50k life. That's not horrible. Everything has been maxed out. I have not transfigured a single thing. Sure, I want to. I know that they... Oh, no, I transfigured my stupid thing because I didn't realize I didn't have the Coolian prism. Crap, what was I going to say? Oh, they did note that gem power was either nerfed or removed, potentially. I'm not exactly sure, because obviously I haven't gone through and tried to transfigure anything, really. So I might just sit down and do that. I'm very curious to see if they nerfed it, what the new value is for the gem strength, because it used to be up to like 100% or more, depending on the item that you put it on, which was huge, especially for two-handers. I mean, 100% more on it. Oh, we did get an update for No Rest for the Wicked. 1.0 has been announced for October, which is huge. We were not expecting it to be this soon. We were expecting it literally next year. So October is just crazy. But if they push it back, I am okay with that. I'm really looking forward to that game. The storyline was cool. Gameplay itself is a lot of fun. For me, it's a lot of fun. It's a Souls-like ARPG, essentially. So, you know, you gotta be, you do have a stamina bar. You have to be careful of your positioning. You can't just run in and kill things as you want to. In fact, I have a montage of my deaths on a certain boss using a horrible build because it was a challenge build of mine. Oh, hello, what are these? It was a challenge build where I used essentially the worst weapon in the game. But I did it all the way through to the point where the campaign stopped, because it didn't give you the full campaign for obvious reasons. One, it's not completed. But two, it's just where it stopped, story-wise. Here we go. Okay. Oh, do I have to be in this thing? I think I have to be... You have to kill them in this thing. Yeah. Okay. Not entirely sure, to be fair, what I'm supposed to do here. I see the ritual, like I see the bar. Do I have to be in this thing to... Oh, okay, maybe I have to be in the tear itself. Okay, got it. Wasn't sure how that worked. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm the one that closes the tears. Okay. Thought I had to be in like the bigger circle for it to work. Apparently not. Okay. These real quick. There's no tear here, like it's bugged, maybe? Oh crap. You know what? I see the thing on the minimap, but there's no like tear here for me to go to this one. Oh. Maybe I let it get too small or something. There, okay. Maybe I have to do it in order, I'm not sure. It's good to know for when the season hits how to use this mechanic. Other one. Oh god. So many explosions. Okay. Doomslayer is close to completion. Right. Okay. Got all that done. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm still confused on this one. Like, I feel like I can't get this one done. But I don't know if it's because it's bugged or what. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I wasn't supposed to kill those occultists until I was ready to do this. Very confused. Clearly I'm in the... There's no tear though, like there was in the other ones, unless there's... I'm missing a tear around here? No? Okay. Yeah, it just won't spawn, so I got like 2 minutes left of essentially doing absolutely nothing but killing things over and over again. Once I don't drop any loot. No loot whatsoever. There's a tear. Weird. I don't know if it was on a timer or what. Okay. Bizarre. I'm gonna chalk that up to a bug though. I don't think it was meant to wait that long. Could be wrong. This feels off. Stay in the tear. There's another one. Like one of those bad movies where, you know, you have a minute left to live. Oh, walker's coming out. Oh, look at this honkin' jumba jumba. Okay. Oh, that hurt. Okay. I could see that definitely being more painful in higher torment levels. Right now I'm on torment 10. So, alright. Oh, are you gonna drop stuff finally? You didn't drop anything. Still bugged. Yeah, the ambushes are supposed to drop stuff. Okay. Death Toll Chambers, why not? Let's go in here and see what this is. Now I am curious. Alright. Death Toll Pillar. I have no idea what this does. Touch the Death Toll Pillar. Do I have to? Show me on the dull what to touch you. Oh, there's a goblin. Soul Eater. Interest. Oh god. Goes back to Zerb and Zed. Okay. Some set charms, some legendaries, some other junk. I mean, nothing. It's weird. It just says ancestral. It doesn't even say what it is. Look at that. It's a weapon. I can tell it's a weapon. It's like a scythe, but it just says ancestral, or maybe a sword or something. It's bugged. That's why it's placeholder. Crimson of Vigor, yeah. Okay. It's like it's a placeholder of what? You throw it on the ground, it's clearly a... Actually kind of looks like a polearm to be honest, but yeah, just weird. Alright. And then this will just bring you back to the town. Yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. Why not? Whoops. Put that live. Okay. Okay. Do... Oh. I got another Paragon point. Okay. Okay, there's no stuff there. Helltides. Close ruptures. Okay, so they do have a close rupture thing for Helltides. We wanted to do, let's do a pit real quick, get rid of that in our war plan. I want to try and see what the war plan stuff essentially has you do, because I'm curious about how many things you have to spend for the new stuff. Oh, whoops, wrong way. I was right next to it. Let's just do a torment. Let's do a torment 10. It's fine. I'm not looking to see what does the most damage for builds and blah blah blah. Let other people figure that out. Maybe Paladin got buffed. Let's make a Paladin. Alright. Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? Of course, it doesn't help you in the... Oh. Okay. Tears appear in pits. I was not expecting that. I thought they only appeared in, like, nightmare dungeons, not pits. Alright. I mean... that'll work. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, another one. Okay. Alright. Runs portal. Oh, that's what it does. Okay, I've never gone Koron's portal before. Originally, the wording on it made it sound like it teleported you. It didn't teleport the events or the elites to you, so that was a little different. I did not know that. And I'm all for it. Yeah, when the Koron's portal appears, apparently it gives you... well, that one in particular spawned an elite on top of me, so... oh, greed shrine. That's what I need is money. Oh. Where are these? There we go. Alright. Come. Alright. There's a lot of shrines. What is... usually you don't get this many shrines in a, in a pit. Well, artillery shrine's always fun. Oh, it's a butcher. Oh no, he died. It isn't so. Hey, wait. If the butcher spawns, he doesn't give you a thing to, Glints of Hope. I don't know what that is. Reseal, paints. Oh, there it is. It doesn't give you a bubble around it, for the pit to protect you from things. It's a little bit of a problem. Alright. Charms, obviously can't get that stuff. Wow, these things just keep spawning, huh? It's kind of annoying. Alright. Weird. Oh, what's this? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's going to be an issue if that stays. Oh, would you... go away. Thank you. Or on soul, which gives me experience. Okay. Got it. so much experience. Go away, thank you. Really? Good thing. Oh, it eventually disappears. Alright, let's not. Really? It disappeared just to respawn on top of me, so to make sure that I knew it was there. And to summon enemies at me. You piece of crap. This game. I swear. Alright. I mean, this is all junk. I'm not gonna care about this stuff. I don't even want that. Oh, what we can do though is we can do this. Let's just transfigure some random items because we can. Oh, can't transfigure that. It has to be legendary, unique, or mythic only. Right. All right. Transfigure. Let's see what we got. Okay, willpower on that. Because I don't care about Agamemnon. We're gonna transfigure that. Cooldown reduction, not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to see if there is a gem strength one. Source cost reduction, nope. Item quality 1 out of 15. It actually gave me 15. That's pretty good. I wish it had more base. 5 out of whatever instead of 1. When you get 1 item quality, it's just like a kick in the teeth. Really? A GA damage over time multiplier, so it just... Okay, it just turned it into a greater affix. Makes sense. Let's do transfigure. Indestructible, of course. That's what we wanted. All stats. I mean, it's not great, but in terms of everything's critical strike chance, it's pretty good. Especially on a pair of legs. Can't get critical strike chance on them normally, so. And the pair of gloves is indestructible. Of course it is. Oh, we have one more we can do. Okay. Well, stats. So out of all of these, sort these. So I've got cooldown, damage, greater affix added, willpower, source cost, critical strike chance, item quality, indestructible. There's 1. 2 indestructible. All stats. So 2 of those. Granted, this is an extremely small sample size, but 2 duplicates within what I got. None of them were greater affix, or not greater affix. What am I thinking? Give me iron chunks. None of them are gem quality. Let's just grab a bunch of junk that I know I'm not going to use anyway. Just throw it in the cube. Since we have so many lovely items that the game handed to us on a silver platter. Okay. 3. There we go. Alright. Let's transfigure everything. Maximum resource. Item 3 item quality. Yeah, whatever. I'm seeing things. Item quality again. Oh, actually. Modifiable, unmodifiable, okay. There was a way to tell at a glance that it was unmodifiable, like, other than scrolling down. Total percent armor. I mean, I guess the fact that it's still in here and you can't transfigure it again was kind of telling. Yeah. Need something a greater affix, I think. Or did that already have a greater affix? It may have changed an affix. I wasn't paying attention. If it changes it, indestructible, nope. If it changes an affix, I don't care. Obviously, item quality, nope. Resistances, oh, that's only 8%. Yeah. Lucky chance. None of these are... It's like a stupid rare chance for them to become able to be transfigured twice anyway, so not expecting it. Just as I wasn't previously in the season, I got like 2 items that you could actually do that with. One of them was my weapon that I'm currently using, and both of the stats are just like, eh, great. Didn't matter. One of them was indestructible, the other one was something else. I don't remember what it was. Alrighty. No. Come on, give me gem strength and quality. No. Not a single gem strength. They either took it out or it's just stupid rare. Physical damage on a weapon. Okay. A lot of item qualities for sure. Another physical damage, that time on a ring. Oh, oops. Fire damage multiplier. Oral. Distances. GA or, yeah, added a GA. Item quality. 22 item quality. Yeah, see, that one's 2 out of 30 at least. Has a base of 2 because it's a 2-hander, so it's going to give you more quality. Potentially. Another GA. This one has a GA. On willpower, let's see. Quality, of course. Like some life. Like some life again. Can you see your achievements from PTR? You can see them on the PTR. They obviously will not cross over. I don't want to say they get reset when you're going over to the PTR. For your account. Even if you copy over your characters. Item quality. And I can look up an achievement if you want, but I'm fairly certain life on hit. Really fairly certain they do not cross over for your normal achievements. Cooldown reduction. Not a single gem enhancement. Total armor, yeah. I figured I would have gotten at least one. Nope. Cooldown reduction, nope. I think they took it out. Fire damage multiplier. And GA. Yeah. Oh, you're saying it announced it on live? It announced my achievement in the PTR on the live thing? That's weird. It is bizarre. My challenge salvager is close to completion, or whatever I'd got. I mean, yeah, you're still... Oh. I didn't put on... Sorry, I didn't put on, whatchamacallit mode? Streamer mode. There we go. Alright. Put it on the streamer mode. There we go. Oh! Hey, Vanilla. What are we doing on the PTR research? Find anything out so far? Yeah, I found out a few things. So, the upgrade to Mythic wasn't what I thought it would be. You can use the cube to change your affixes on every single Mythic item. Not just the unique Mythics. The uniques that can be turned into Mythics. You can use it on the iconic Mythics as well. For example, I have... Oh, I have Air Perdition right here. I changed every single aspect on this thing, or affix. excuse me, in the cube. So, like, I could take this Ring of Starless Skies. Let me get rid of my stuff. Let me destroy all this. I was trying to see if I could get gem power on any item after transfiguring it. Couldn't get a single one. And I just you saw my whole inventory full of items. Every single one of those was transfigured. Not a single one was gem power. So this is the weird part about it. So you put in Ring of Starless Skies, obviously the quote-unquote iconic mythic. You have the unique power reroll, which makes no sense because you can't reroll the mythic power, the aspect power on it. That's kind of dumb. You can upgrade it to mythic, and what that will do is re-roll it into another random one. You can recycle uniques. You can do chaotic reroll, you can do focus reroll, and obviously transfigure on it. So they have added that to the iconic mythics now. So essentially you can make your best in slot iconic mythic. Upgrade to mythic is a little deceiving. You can take any unique item, put it in, and it will upgrade it to a random unique of mythic quality. So for example, if I take, say, a Ring of Starless junk back, where's all my, okay, so if I take Soul Brand here, I'm obviously not going to use, and even if I do need to use it, I'll go grab another one from MREC. Throw it in the cube. Hit upgrade to mythic, and you can see here categories are one-handed weapons plus offhands. So pretty sure you can reroll mythics now in Season 13 as long as you have 3 of the same kind. Yeah, and that stayed the same, sorry. Yes, you can put 3 of the same mythic into the cube and reroll it. That stayed the same. I meant the chaotic reroll and focused reroll is what changed. You can use that on iconic mythics is what they're calling them now, which is Air of Perdition, Shaco, Ring of Starless Skies, Selec, that kind of stuff. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but anyway, so yeah, back to the upgrading to mythic. It'll change it into a random unique of a specific category. One-handed weapons and offhands are the same, are within the same category. So if you throw in a one-handed, there's a chance you'll get a mythic unique of an offhand or another one-hander. Go either way. Two-handed weapons only roll two-handed weapons. Thank God, but that is like the only good one. Armor can be any of the 5 slots. If I change this chest piece, this unique chest piece, by using this, it can easily turn into a pair of boots, another chest, a helmet, gloves, legs, it doesn't matter. And the final one was jewelry, so your amulets and rings are interchangeable when you use this. Show you exactly what it does. It will not turn your soul brand into a unique soul brand, or into a mythic soul brand, excuse me. I mean, it might, but chances are it will not, and I'll show you. To upgrade to mythic, you need these little pandemonium fragments. It actually gave me a fleshrit carapace. I'm actually surprised at that. So, and I've made the best one I could right now for my fleshrit carapace, which was again through the cube. Took a good while to do it, but I managed it. And you can't lock in stuff, but a little bit easier to do now with certain things. But I can transmute this again if I want. So I'll upgrade to mythic, transmute it again. And now it's a pair of legs. It's Cabrexis Will. Should be the item you put in, not a random item. I agree with you. That's what originally I had thought. And then when I put it in and I hit the button, I'm like, why did that change? And then I had to read the tooltip on it specifically to make sure what it said, so that didn't make any sense. Here's another weird thing. So let's say you get a mythic unique. As a mythic unique it's supposed to have max rolls, and as you can see on this particular item, it does have max rolls. Willpower is maxed, maximum life, life regen, fortified generation, all of it's maxed out. If you swap any of those out in the cube, like if I do a, let's do a chaotic reroll on the, what is it, the fortified generation, that should be utility. So if I do it on the utility, let's see what we get. Healing received, it's a random amount, it's a random roll for it. So it won't even max it out when you re-roll it. Now in Diablo 3, if you got a primal ancient item, which was essentially what these are, it rolls with max stats on it, and the thing is completely maxed, like the, let's say main stat, let's use willpower again. Let's say the main stat was maxed out. If you went to the enchanter and you swapped out that affix for something else, it would actually keep the maximum amount of that affix and just slap it onto your item. It wouldn't care. It was always going to max out your stats regardless of what you changed it to, which was nice. Obviously, you can only change one thing on items in Diablo 3 as well for enchanting, but same principle. But this time, you do it here, you lose... You will lose the max roll more often than not. I mean, you might get stupid lucky and be able to get it, but chances are you probably won't. Yeah, I'll do this again. Change into shadow resist. Impairment reduction. Now change to armor, but as you can see, it's a low roll on the armor. It's 2,000 armor. Out of 1963 to 2450, I got 2,000. This feels bad. Forums are on fire. I don't know if they're... Okay. The Salvis made a post, and you know, I don't know if you know Salvis, but Salvis is not exactly optimistic about Diablo 4. He said, "Oof, PTR report's not looking too hot." That was the name of his thing. He said, "Who would have guessed it? Ha ha ha. White Knights assemble." And of course, some people came in guns blazing. I took a different approach. I asked him specifically, I said, "Just curious, do you care to elaborate? Your title and content are rather vague," to which Salvis actually engaged with me. And he's been civil. Basically saying the overall feedback of the new direction for itemization seems to be very negative, as in can't really find a single positive comment on it. Same for Reddit comments on relevant threads, seems to be almost universally hated. I'm not holding my breath that they will reverse course, that hasn't been their MO. Just a shame because it seems like a huge step backwards. And I followed up by saying, thank you for the context. It helps. Are you finding players don't like the overall changes or specific changes? For example, uniques being upgraded to mythic, the changes to allow rerolling of affixes on both uniques and iconic mythics, and or the changes to the iconic mythics now essentially being nerfed. And he said it's definitely directed towards the additional layers of RNG attached to the items. No set stats. The new mythics are completely random. It seems like quite a few players are aware now that most of the item hunt revolves around the cube, which, to be fair, it did evolve around the cube as soon as Lord of Hatred started, if we're being real. The nerfs to the existing mythics are just the turd candles on the poopy cake. So I followed up by saying that makes sense. I can agree that I think the initial change for uniques was a bad one. They were a static item with an otherwise almost mandatory aspect for specific builds that only fit in one slot. Some of the affixes just weren't ideal, sure, but that was the trade-off. Now we're essentially given the keys to the kingdom to alter them in any way we see fit, but we have to use the gambling system that's worse than enchanting, which arguably the cube re-rolling system is worse than enchanting. You get one chance, and you cannot pinpoint which one you want. You can kind of pinpoint it depending on what you get, but like when you have an item like this, I can get rid of the resist, and I could potentially change that into an all resist. It'll take some time. But if it was a different defensive stat, like life regen or something, I would have to gamble on a defensive stat to hopefully not hit the maximum life or the armor if I wanted to keep those. And I'd want it to hit the life on, or the regen life stat. So it's bad. Anyway, it said it's the same issue they had with tempering to an extent, where Colin literally said something along the lines of, "We're giving you exactly what you want with more steps, so we just took out the steps." I said, "I feel we're one step away from them allowing uniques to be enchanted, so we can pinpoint one affix just like with legendaries. Mythic nerfs don't bother me. I've actually been wanting this for a while, but in a different way. Limiting the mythic items to just 7 total items, with the rest being nerfed to reasonable levels and made into uniques, which is essentially what they've done without adding the real mythics back." So that's my take on it right now. I think as I said, I think the initial change to uniques was incorrect. I don't think it was a smart idea. So it's just me personally. I don't think that the game needed randomized affixes for uniques. And I don't think it needs them to be able to be changed in the cube now either, to be fair. It just seems overly complicated for something that should have otherwise been left alone, in my opinion. Because now you've essentially made it to the point where, okay, people aren't going to use your mythics as much anymore. Your iconic mythics. They're going to use the unique mythics that they find and then just play in the cube for God knows how long to try and get their affixes. So you're still going to have best in slot items that people are just going to use and gravitate toward regardless. But now you've added another layer on top of that saying that, well, yes, you want a mythic unique, and now you want it to have these stats. So you've traded one guaranteed item to be best in slot for a guaranteed item that can be best in slot if you're lucky enough with the cube. So I'm not sure that's the best way to go about it. I don't think it makes much sense, but that's just me. Alright. What was I doing? Oh, crossed Undercity, yeah. Do that. I've got like so many things. You know, I'm just gonna do this because I can. I don't want to be worrying about this stuff. I wanted to see the war plan stuff though. So they did not lock let me explain that. So Vanilla asked, didn't they lock the amount of iconic mythics you can wear? And the answer to that is yes and no. They lock the amount of crafted mythic uniques you can wear. Iconic mythics are irrelevant. As far as I know, you cannot craft an iconic mythic. I've tried. Like I sat there at the cube just constantly pressing the button. Not a single iconic mythic was given. The heck? So it's just the mythic uniques. I really hate that they're using the same terminology for this crap. It's kind of annoying. They did the same with what was it, like chaotic tributes on a certain season? I forget exactly what season it was, but people are confusing it with the actual tribute for Undercity when that's not what it was, and it just caused issues. So yeah, you can only ever wear one crafted mythic unique, one that you've crafted from the cube, by just throwing in a unique and then making it into a mythic unique. You can wear as many mythic uniques as you want if they drop for you. So that is the caveat. The suggestion came from straight from Woodjoe. Remember his multiple videos asking for it, considering regular mythics in prior season. Oh, to limit you to one, I think is what you're talking about. I think I remember him saying that. To limit mythic unique usage or being able to wear them to just one mythic unique. Which I think would have been a decent idea. I wouldn't be against that either. That way you couldn't have Tyrael's Might and Air of Perdition and Starless, you know, or Selig or whatever. Well, that makes perfect sense. So they kind of did that, but it's only for the craftable one. However, that being said, the craftable ones will be going away in the next season. So season 15, you won't be able to craft them because the materials used to craft them is going to be seasonal only. They are keeping the mythic changes moving forward. So you're still going to have mythic uniques dropping along with iconic mythic uniques dropping. And you can still change them in your cube. That's also staying. So you just won't be able to craft them anymore in the cube. You can modify their affixes, but you can't craft them after season 14. I should clarify. Oh, come on. Invasion portal is horrible. It's so slow. But yeah. See how it goes. Like I am for the mythic nerfs, I'm just not for the execution of everything else. To be fair. I'll have to see how it plays out, obviously. But yeah. My initial thoughts are mythic uniques in general are bad. The ability to change their stats is good, but only because it's making up for the fact that they roll randomly when they drop. So it's like a self-made problem that they found a solution to. And that's just, this feels wrong to me. Like, yes, you made this problem, and now you've come up with a solution for your own problem you made. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I shot myself in the foot. Okay, well, now I'm wearing steel-toe boots, but I shouldn't have shot myself in the foot to begin with. The steel-toe boots are going to save you from shooting yourself in the foot again, but you know what I mean. You know, I couldn't care less about what they did to Air of Perdition. I drink the tears of the casualties. Yeah, I don't mind the nerfs to the mythics, to be honest. I've always wanted nerfs to mythics, but I've also wanted lottery chase items too, so a little bit of difference there. As I said in my post, I think we should only have 7 total mythics. 1 for each slot, no weapons, no class specific ones, which obviously weapons would be. There we go. What junk did I get? Oh, another ambush. But then that would leave those 7 to be amazing items. Containing prisms, sure, why not? But they'd be rare to the point where you'd be lucky to find one during any season. I would prefer that. I know other people wouldn't. Obviously, the initial problem with the initial uniques, or mythic uniques, was you can't find one. You know, you'd have to... Your grandchildren's grandchildren might be able to find one, but you would never find one during a season. I had no problem with that whatsoever. I thought it was fine. Like, okay, cool. You know, it's one of those items that you get that's like could potentially be game changing for you and push you maybe a couple extra pits. Well, at the time we didn't have pits, we had nightmare dungeons. So there was, at the time, there was nothing it would really be used for. It wasn't great. So they were like, I hate to use the word, they were aspirational items. It just, in the long run, didn't matter because there wasn't any content that required them. Ruptures. Oh, these are all the rupture ones. That's cool. Oh. What do we got next? We've got Greater Helltide Harvest. Let's see. Let's see what this one is. This is one of the new war plan things. It's Greater Helltide Harvest instead of normal Helltide. So what are we doing? What are my objectives? Oh, there it is. Oh, here we go. Spend 750 cinders. Okay, so it's just 7. I have to actually spend 750. It's not about collecting them, it's spending them. For me, it's just completion of my pre-planned build for any given season. My chase items are those items that I determined separate to outside influences. Right. Because you make your own builds and you decide, okay, these are the items I'm going to go for to make my build work. And obviously, if I find out that there's better options through my own experimentation, or your experimentation, you know what I mean, you'll switch it up. But you start out with a plan first and then go from there, and then alter your plan depending on what drops and what you find works for you. So yeah, I think makes perfect sense to me. I just always saw mythics originally as those items that you never counted on getting at any given time, and I was okay with that. The other items, yes, you would get given enough time, and then eventually they made it even more deterministic to the point where you would absolutely get all your items that you needed. They made unique farming so much easier. Legendaries drop like candy. Mythics became more common. I would say in the beginning they were still rare, but actually achievable during a season. And then they just became easier and easier to get to the point where, like, unless you actively are ignoring obvious ways to get them, there's no way you're not going to get a mythic. Oh crap. Oh no. Oh, come back here. Gladness looked different. No. Oh, damn it. Not fast enough. Oh well. Oof. Yeah, they diluted the meaning on mythics, I agree. Think of mythic, you do not think of an item that's, you know, slightly rarer than a damn legendary. Sorry, or a regular unique, I should say, not necessarily legendary. You know what I mean. Just, I don't know, just, it takes away the whole thing. And that uniques are not even unique anymore. They're just constantly changing up the game. I guess on the flip side, you could kind of say, if this was their original intention and this is how they're going to be doing it moving forward, it's just a different way of, it's just a different execution from what we're used to. To be fair, there's been a few things that we're not used to in this game, but, you know, doesn't mean I have to like it, but different perspective. Seasons from now we'll have a new layer above Mythic Watch. That's what I was expecting. That's what I said in another thread. I'm like, it wouldn't surprise me if Season 15 they added something that was above Mythic. Just to bring it back in some kind of form. Rare, stupid rare chase items, which I hope they do, in all honesty, but I don't know. I think a little less keys to the kingdom are needed in this game, rather than more. And I think items need to, certain items, not all items obviously, need to have negatives in the sense that you cannot control what drops on it. And you have to work around it. Because at this point, they're giving us the option to make our best in slot gear in any way we want with extra steps. That's not how these games should work, in my opinion. Unless it's required to an extent for your content. And what I mean by that is No Rest for the Wicked does it well because you can, in fact, tailor your items exactly how you want it to. Oh. Oh, that was a Realm Walker. Boom. Epic Gear, Heavenly Hellfire Gear. A split option like that at the end would be cool. But like, say for example, they could take two different routes. Like they could do, okay, you can have an item drop for you that's random. Or you can go the other route of... Can I not collect these? Oh, no, I was collecting them. Just, it was weird. You get an item that drops you that's random. And let's say it's unique. And it drops with... Well, let's say uniques went back to what they were originally. It drops with set stats. Cannot change them. But the opposite is you can change them to the cube, but now the rolls are going to be less than what they normally would be if it dropped normally. It could do that, although I could see people not liking that option, to be fair. Because obviously they're gonna complain, well, why does it have to be less on the roll stats, you know? Which I completely get, but I feel like you need some kind of negative to offset it. This is me personally. Obviously not everyone's going to agree with that assumption or that ideal. I feel like we keep getting... How do I put this? Illusionary friction? If that's a good way to put it. Like, what we're getting in Season 14 is the illusion that there's friction, because the only friction there is just playing the cube. It's really all it is. And obviously the friction of getting the item to drop in the first place is actually a mythic unique. That's really your only friction. The rest of it is just making sure it gets the right stuff. And it was the same with tempering. And they changed it to be completely deterministic with tempering. There's no friction anymore. And if they go down this route, it's going to be the exact same thing. People are going to be like, well, you did it with tempering to allow us to change whatever we wanted. Now you've given us a cube to do it. Give us enchanting on uniques. Like, we are one step away. Progression was always an illusion. You're not wrong. Treat it like an accordion. Yeah. Agree with that. It's one of those things where it's just... And don't get me wrong, I still enjoy the game for what it is. It's just clearly not how I would design a Diablo game. And I'm not even sure, because they're trying to cater to like all different sides, it just feels weird in general. Like, you want the casuals to play, and you're giving them all these options to make their gear better and essentially push higher than they might have otherwise done. But again, it's the casual player base that essentially was fine previously with your previous systems. Granted, people didn't like tempering and masterworking. Yes, I'll agree to that. But I would also argue that for the casuals, they didn't need it. It was an extra bonus. Because of how stats worked back then, it wasn't... It barely added any extra to you. It was for the min-maxers, obviously. Which is perfectly fine. But it was a decent system that worked. But now you've gotten it to the point where you almost have to kind of max out your gear to get to the level of their benchmark of tier 10 for each build. Oh, crap. And for a casual player, you're not going to want to just grind away till, you know, you're sick of the game. You're going to kind of want to get out, get in, play what you can, get your objectives done, have some fun with the game. Min-max your gear to an extent, but probably not to the level of... Oh, look at that. I got a trace of echoes. Actually, I had one drop. So. It's not that I believe what you do isn't good, it's just that what you do isn't worth doing. Yeah, right. It's a good way of putting it. Echoing hatred. So we actually got one of those. Go do that. Oh, I didn't actually get all my hell tides done, which is fine. Yeah, just there's so much back and forth and some odd decisions with the development team on this. If they actually took the negative feedback and completely reverted this new change coming in Season 13, I would not be opposed to it. I don't see it happening, but I would not be opposed to it. I think certain things were done well. One of the bonuses is being able to reroll your runes, or your unique charms, and along with regular uniques that are like 850. Or I guess you could do uniques below 850 if you wanted to. Reroll the aspect power on them. Obviously you probably wouldn't want to, but sure you can. Like being able to reroll the unique power on your charms and your unique power on your unique is actually really cool. How many times you get an awesome unique and it sucks because your aspect power is lower than what your crappy one had. Yeah, I could reroll this all I want. Or not. Here it is, 115. It's like 105, 105. Seems to love 105. 20, yeah. This is... Should be able to get 125, right? 10. 100. 10. 20. 5. Nope. 15. Of course, you know what the next upgrade from Mythic Uniques is, right? It's going to be Mythic Unique Charms. Now there's a 125%. And I don't mean iconic Mythic Unique Charms, I mean Mythic Unique Charms. Not going to be in Season 13, but I have no doubt that that's the route they're going to take eventually. See how it goes. Trust them. At this point, oh. Yeah. Do a transfigure. On. Life on hit. Nope. Not what I wanted. Still trying to see if gem strength is still there. Oh, oops, that's old. Mythic gems, oh god, just what we need. I'm actually, now that you mention it, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get some kind of jewelry gem thing. We've had it in previous seasons, you know, where you had that special gem you could put in your jewelry specifically, like it was specifically slotted to go in your jewelry, similar to the jewels in Diablo 3 where they had specific stats on them. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go that route to an extent in Lord of Hatred. I thought they might have done something similar. Alright, let's transfigure these. Some life. Nope. We'll try for gem strength if it's even here. Somebody may have already figured out that it is here. I just haven't been able to get on any of these items. Indestructible. So I mentioned this before you came on, Vanilla. Quality of life would be nice for oh, look at that, I can transfigure this again. Quality of life for transfiguring is, especially when you're going through these things, is to be able to tell at a glance that you cannot modify the item without having to scroll down most of the time. Like, for example, if I hover over these legs, there's too much crap, obviously. You have to scroll all the way down to see that it's finally unmodifiable. I would like to see that unmodifiable option, like, right next to the transfigured something, you know. You just have it next to the transfigured thing and just have unmodifiable, or, you know, above the transfigured, below the transfigured text. I think that would be great. Because as you're cubing, obviously when you put something in and you cube it, if this stays green, or highlighted so to speak, and not like grayed out like this, you can transfigure it again, but most of the time you're probably not paying attention to that. You're looking at the stats, you're being like, oh, it changed this, and then you immediately like put it back in your thing. So that gem goblin crossbow, shoot gem fragments at your enemies. The more gem fragments you have, the more damage it does. Oh god, no, please don't put that in the game. It's just as bad as those stupid gimmicks where it's like, as much gold as you have, shoot it at the enemy, and it'll spend your gold, and this, depending on the amount of gold that you shoot out, depends on your damage. We don't need that crap. Get that out of here, Vanilla. Jesus Christ. It's horrible. Horrible decision. Put a new spin on trading, that's for sure. I need some emeralds, they do poison damage. Shoot them out of my crossbow. Alright, let's do transfigure again. Turn it into mythic. Gave greater affix to tortured wretch, just what I wanted. Sure. Alright. This is mostly what happens to me, is if an item becomes... If I transfigure an item and you can transfigure it again, it only ever gives me one extra. I've never gotten a third affix from it, let alone however many people are destroying now. Oh, look at that. Another one that can be transfigured again. Critical strike and all stats on this. It's not bad. To it, I'm not going to use it. Let's see. There it is. Oh, wow. Okay, so gem strength is still in the game. Nerfed heavily. Look at that. 20 to 30% gem strength. Is huge. It is a huge debuff to the gem strength, but it is still there. So they didn't take it out. I thought they might have taken it out. So, What is this? Ariel's boots. You now hover slightly above the battlefield. Ground effects now don't affect you. You know what's funny about that? You mentioned that. There was a set in Diablo 3 that allowed you to be immune to ground effects. I'm not even lying. Let's see if I can find it. Now you've got me. That. Cute. Effects. I want to say it was like a beginner set. It wasn't a set you would ever use. And here it is. Blackthorn's set. The 4-set bonus was you are immune to Desecrator, Molten, and Plagued Monster ground effects. In the beginning, actually, it was extremely helpful. I'm not even going to lie, because those particular things, when you ran over them, obviously did a lot of damage, depending on what level you were and whatnot. Granted, once you were of level, they still hurt. Kind of sucked, but you could basically get around it. You didn't need this set on anymore. But yeah, similar to your item. To your Ariel's boots. So I'm okay with that. Actually, you know what? Give me a freaking pair of boots that makes me immune to the damn swords and the stupid little fanatics. Give me that. Give me a pair of boots that makes me immune to that crap. Oh wait, no, it'd have to be a helmet for the swords because it'd have to hit you in the head, right? Because it comes down, like, pierces your head, so you need a helmet that makes you immune to the swords. Lunatics, I guess it would have to be on a chest piece. Ground effects would have to be boots. What else can we make ourselves immune to? They had that in the game too, Diablo 3. They had elements. You could get immune to a certain element with an amulet, I want to say it was. Diablo 4. 2 elements. I think it was an amulet. I don't remember what the amulet was called. But it was, I want to say it was random what the element was. So like you could be immune to arcane damage, which meant that you could take obviously arcane damage, but in that game it had like these, similar to here where you have that little lightning ball that they pop out that like rotates and has like the beam of lightning that spins. They had like arcane laser beams that would come out attached to a ball that would rotate and spin. And if you were immune to it, you could just stand in it, which was great. Because those things were kind of annoying, especially in tight, enclosed spaces. And again, depending if you could put it in your build or not, it was extremely helpful. Or you're immune to ice damage, you wouldn't get frozen in that game. Immune to fire damage, you didn't have to worry about explosions or anything on the ground that did fire. Immune to poison damage, same crap. It was actually kind of fun, to be fair. I take these ideas seriously, completely trollish ideas. Grappler's gloves, you now carry enemies with you like ragdolls. wait, warlocks have that ability. It's our, it's one of our soul shards. Or is it the doggo that we can ride? I forget which one it was. No, it wasn't Lawlish. Is it Agron? I think it was Agron. You know, you could ride the dog and then it would like chain things behind you and you ran with it. This is one of the cool features in the warlock thingy that I remember seeing. That'd be great. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so gem strength is extremely rare still. Let's see if we can find a couple of more. Oh, was this unmodifiable? It was. Okay. Indestructible is still very prominent. GA. Like, at this point, I get the feeling most people are going to try and go for multipliers. Or critical strike chance is a decent one. I really wish it would show you a list of what you could get for transfiguring. Similar to enchanting when you click the little eyeball icon. Be nice to know what it could give you. Right now you have to go to a planner guide. Figure out what the hell you can slap on there. But, alright. Well, figured out gem strength was nerfed to 30%. Oh. Let's go do some hell tides real quick. Works. From the peaks. Jack the Grim. What's up? I like the name. Is that a banana peel in front of your name? Gone Bananas badge. That's what it is. I don't even know what that's from, to be fair. Alright. Okay, so we need 750 shards. Or to spend 750 shards. They start buffering instead of doing all these nerfs. Or buffing, probably is what you meant to say. Did a hardcore solo self-found PoE 2 character today. Got through to Act 2 and died. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they've been... The nerfs themselves don't bother me too much. It's the... what they're doing to the rest of the game. Like, I don't personally mind the nerfs. The itemization changes are more what I'm concerned about. It also depends on how much they're nerfing as well. I mean, I've seen the nerf thingies. I don't know where everybody sits though, because everybody's coming up with new builds again. Trying to figure out what's the best. I just do not have that kind of time to be spending in the PTR. So, Demonology Warlock can't even do 212. Ugh. Yeah, that's a problem. Alright. Damn it, I need that helmet. Vanilla. Makes me immune to swords dropping on my head. Give me my helmet. But yeah, I was talking about early in the stream how I didn't mind the nerfs to the mythics, but at the same time I wanted to actually have chaseable mythic items, because now they don't seem very mythic at all. They haven't seemed mythic for a good while. They're just too common. Too common and too powerful. But that's me. I know not everybody's gonna agree. What do we got? I need a crap ton more shards. Anything to ambush me, that's what I need. Spend 750 shards. See what damage modifying cheats are a thing in this game now. If you want to hit 150, yes. Of course, at the same time, you're cheating your items to get, like, what was it? What did that person have? Like 200 affixes on one of his items through Transfiguration, which was clearly outrageous. Maybe it was 400. I don't remember what the total amount was. To the point where you have to spend a day just scrolling through your item to see how many affixes it added. Wonder if it doubled up on indestructible. It'd be hilarious. And you would think the system would have something in place to eventually point where you would have all the affixes that can be transfigured. I think is like maybe 10 of an item. Like 10 total different things it can roll, transfigured wise. Hopefully chill on APOC animation for party members, that ish. Makes it impossible to see. That too. Yes, I agree with that. They really need to tone down Apocalypse. Running my rogue with a double barb. Their buffs, I was able to hit negative numbers, but I didn't do damage cheats. Yeah, we've had negative numbers before. Druids have had it. My Necromancer had it. But I want to say that was on a PTR that eventually got fixed before it came live. It's one of the weirdest things. Like, I just did negative damage. How does that work? I haven't seen that since Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, one of those funky things. But don't get me wrong, I'm all for the power fantasy. But I'd prefer it to be more earned than gimmicky. That's just me. I also think the other issue with RPGs in general is the completion factor, which is they specifically make content that is not entirely meant to be completed, which at the same time makes people want to complete it, and they will find a way to do it because that's how gamers are. If you tell them you can't do it, gamers will find a way. It's pretty much inevitable. It's like, don't tell me I can't do something in a game. I will break your game to do it. You know? 150 Pit is one of those things where it was never intended to technically be beaten. But here we are. Broken builds galore. Certain ones that can actually complete it. Obviously not every class can beat it. But and cheap these nerfs are killing me for mythics in the PTR and can't do T12, yeah. I get it. There wasn't enough. Obviously we didn't see any new uniques coming out. So it's not like you can change up your build slightly to compensate for the nerfs. So let's either go with a different build or hope they buff it by the time it comes out. So I do remember back in the day they said they weren't going to do huge nerfs like this again, but I mean that was 2 years ago. Oh. Times change. Stop playing is an option. Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree with that. Stop playing until they make appropriate changes, either the next time or they never do. I mean, you know, speak with your time and your wallet. Absolutely. I agree with that. Obviously, leave your feedback, preferably in a civilized manner, but other than that, I mean, the biggest thing to hit them is their metrics. Oh, layer boss keys, more cinders. 25 plus. Yeah, that'll work. Now I just need to go open up a bunch of chests. Ah. Eat this damn zone. Okay. Need to spend cinders. I don't. Oh, is that a silent chest? I never found one during this season. I played a decent amount, but I never found an actual silent chest. I didn't go out of my way to look for them though either. First thing I did was constructive criticism. If that fails, then I'll just stop playing. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah. Absolutely. I think there's too many people that that vent and don't offer constructive criticism. It's like, well, you're just a bunch of idiots. It's like, how does that help? I mean, I get that you're frustrated and you're angry at the game. So we all are at certain points, you know, but if all you're gonna do is come into the forums, Reddit, Twitter, just call the devs idiots, like, expect them to change the game based on that feedback? You don't even tell them why you're angry, you're just like, well, your game sucks. Thanks. We'll take it into advisement. You know? What is this? Beggar chests are all over the Helltides. I did say I would like mythics increase 7 more instead of 30%. Hmm. Oh, you mean the aspect power of them? Make them a little bit more appetizing. I don't think that'd be horrible. Make up for some of the nerfs at least. Going. I don't even want this stuff, I just want to get through this thingy. There we go. Where's the... I genuinely do not like this Helltide area for Scovos. Their placement of their chests is just horrible, and I have to constantly use Pathfinder to figure out where the hell I'm going in this maze of junk. If I had to complain about one area of Scovos, it looks cool, but it's just kind of annoying to maneuver around it. Alright. There we go. Oh. Pathways are too narrows and the walls are kind of sticky to me. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely, vanilla. I think of an area for Helltide and I think of nice open areas, not constricted hallways that eventually essentially feel like a damn cave. It's the same thing without a roof. There's one. But I mean, even looking at the map, it's not even intuitive to how you can maneuver. Because the pathway blends in with the rest of the map. Oh, born. Yeah. Okay. So that's done. Then I got an escalation dungeon thingy. But yeah, if you look over here, like right in here, I think this is a pathway. And this technically isn't. But as you're going through it, like you think maybe, well, maybe I should be able to go through here, or here, or here. It's just kind of confusing. So I have to constantly use this stupid thing to show me where the hell I'm going. So, yeah. This a minor nitpick, to be fair. For my build, the mythic increase barely did anything, and only other build would be Abyss if they didn't touch that. I gotcha. Next expansion will probably be Westmarch or Zunsai. We'll have fields again at that time, probably. I mean, we have some fields now, although they did do this weird pattern thing with all of Scovos. This weird hodgepodge of tunnel-ish things. The Huntu just feels more... less separated. Make sure you have like little islands here, but it's mostly... there's no one path. So you have some paths here, but for the most part you have like bigger open areas that are just kind of cut off a little bit. This one's a little bit bad, but it's not horrible. But I mean, look at these giant open areas of Hawzar. Kyrgyzstan has like a little bit... this place is annoying over here on the left, but you have decent open areas here. You don't have that in Scovos. You have webs everywhere. There isn't a single one of these places that looks like it was coherently put together. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Curious on my opinion for... I'm sorry. I got sidetracked of looking at a stupid map. My opinion for like the changes to mythics or damage in general. Oh, the Warlock on Season 14. I have been playing APOC, so I haven't been going through all the builds, obviously, for Warlock. I use APOC for Season 13, so that's what I figured I'd go into for the PTR. I wouldn't mind trying something else, but I definitely, even with my current stuff that I have on, and it's like I maxed it out as best as I could. I'm missing damage from vulnerable because the dogs don't add it anymore, the wolves don't add it anymore. That's kind of a big multiplier that's already gone. And there's no easy way to get it back with Apocalypse build. I'd have to go out of my way to do something to put it in there, and it just would feel wrong, so that's a big chunk of the damage. I can do T12, but it's slower for sure. At least with the current gear that I have. I haven't transfigured anything, but overall that wouldn't really help me too much. For the other builds, unfortunately I just don't know. I'm not a min-maxer in that regard. I don't typically play more than a couple builds during a season. Let me see, what do we have for... So you mentioned you were... Hold on. You were... Where are you? Can I find it? Your Demonology Warlock was having problems on T12. Demonology, okay. Let me see. Where? Are you following a particular guide, or you just build your own? Demonology. Nick. Very curious. Vampire aspect on legendary applies vulnerable. That's right. Vampire aspect would be good. Puts around, but mainly focuses on Fiend of Abaddon Hellfire version. Oh, okay. Interesting. Alright. Got more toughness on the list. Don't care about my Paragon. Because I know that the top builds, at least this season, were like the Apocalypse, the Lunatic. I saw Tyrant's Grasp out there a lot. Unfortunately, builds that cover the entire damn screen with graphic vomit. Various other things. But, well, what was your build? Do you remember? Or, well, obviously you remember. What was your build? Oh. 30 seconds of ad left. Sorry about that. Mount Ariat is blown up. That would be cool to see again in Diablo 4. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mount Ariat would be great to see. I agree with you. Barbarians. Yeah, that would be amazing. Let's see. Where my junk? bit of a game again, but similar to the No Infinite Sword Demon build. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Sounds fun. I was originally interested in a Dreadclaw build. I only got so far with it, obviously. And it just, the mitigation wasn't there for me, the damage wasn't there for me, so I switched it up over the Apocalypse just to get myself through some of the stuff. But when I originally saw the Warlock, that's what attracted me most, was a Shadow build, because I really love the whatever the Lawlish, I think his name is, the Demon Lawlish, and him circling around you and eating things. I thought it looked really cool. Like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go a build that covers that, and I built my own build for leveling with him in there along with Dreadclaws. I didn't even know it was decent for leveling. It just was fun. So that's all I built it for. Like, I'm just gonna have fun off of what I know. Or try to, anyway. Most non-demonology builds didn't do enough damage for me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of people just don't... The worst part about the builds from other sites is they don't experiment enough, in my opinion. They go with what they know does the most damage, and then they kind of focus on that instead of just trying to experiment with like something slightly off the cuff. You know, I have no doubt you can make most Warlock builds do T12, you know, to an extent at least. But people just don't experiment around enough. I myself typically don't have the time to experiment around. I'm more of a semi-casual player. I get like 2 to 3 hours a night on weekdays, and then weekends are a little bit more depending, but it just depends. So I wish I had the time to just sink down and, you know, make a build that I think would work and then experiment with it, but that takes time to gather all the stuff, put it all together, go out and test it, rinse, repeat until you find something that works, kind of thing. So that's my dilemma. I mean, real world problems, right? I have things to do during the day. Not saying that other people don't. I'm just saying in general, I just don't. Unfortunately, I don't even have time to look up builds or to experiment with like a planner guide, for example, until I get to sit down and then play. And the last thing I want to do is theorycraft for 3 hours and not play the game whatsoever. So that's kind of where my dilemma is. If I had a little bit more time, sure, I could easily do other things, but that's kind of why I rely on build guides myself. It's not really that I can't make my own build. I have. I just typically don't have the time. And then I tweak the build of usually what I find to go along with what I need at the time, because I never believe in the best in slot crap. Like, I'm not after that. I'm after what works for me at any given time. I'll throw on Juggernaut Aspect if my armor isn't there. I won't care. Like, oh, you're not supposed to put that in your chest piece? Screw you. I'm gonna put it in my chest piece. I don't care. I need armor. I am tissue paper. I need armor. Don't tell me what I can and can't do. And even some of the like the builds that I've noticed have like steps all the way up to until you get your best in slot, and some of them I question their choices. I look at them and I think, why would you pick that of all things? What was going through your head that you thought this was a good idea? And various things like that. I think they get too absorbed in, you know, what they think is the best in slot. They just don't experiment, or they just don't think beyond it has to be this way kind of thing. But yeah. So it's how it is in this game. You're gonna have people that are just gonna make a build guide, and then it's, you know, there's no wiggle room for it. Or I make the wiggle room. Unless it's leveling. Leveling I don't care about, because leveling you can pretty much make anything and make it work to an extent. I mean, obviously I'm not going with just basic skills during leveling. Unless I get something amazing unique that makes my basic skills do great damage. But other than that, the fun stuff. What else did they change? I know we did the Zarbinzet thingy. Oh, we haven't fought the new boss yet. I guess we can go fight him. Although he'll probably be easy on Torment 10 with this build. But we'll see how it goes. At this point, you're thinking they're trying to make T12 impossible to reach. For certain builds, they might be. I don't know if you saw the sit down, but I asked the question, as previously Colin said in an interview and during one of the dev updates, that their goal for any build, that at least their benchmark, was to reach, at the time it was a tier 80 to 85 pit. That was the benchmark for each class's coherent builds. Obviously, coherent is kind of subjective and up for interpretation, but essentially items that would enhance specific skills that would go into a build that would get you to these pit tiers. I asked again during the sit down that we just had a couple weeks back, and I asked, has that changed? And they basically said no. The new benchmark, quote unquote, is exactly the same. It's Torment 10. That's what they expect each coherent build to get up to, is Torment 10 now. Which coincides with Colin's original 80 to 85, because a pit tier 80 is Torment 10 now. 85 would just be the halfway mark. So that's still the same. Their benchmark is to hit that. The better question for them now is, if that's the benchmark, are you planning on allowing us more options to go beyond that? Because obviously we have outliers now. Barbarians, rogues, orcs can hit 150 no problem. You have other classes that are struggling to get to 100, depending on, like paladins, for example, are having issues unless you build a specific build to get higher than that. I'd say warlocks are pretty decent. But they're decent now. Obviously, going into the PTR, not as decent. You know, warlocks are decent in terms of getting beyond, getting to T12 and beyond with builds. Every other class doesn't have, from what I've seen, doesn't really have issues. Other than Paladin. Paladin seems to struggle. It's definitely more heavily item-based. I mean, all builds are, but in terms of the Paladin, from what I've seen, it's definitely more nuanced in the sense that you have to build a specific way. I think there was like 3 builds that can get you up to like 120 pit or so, give or take. And even then it was very specific on what you had to build. Whereas you can just throw in one of their 6 to 8 builds and just go with it. You'd be struggling pretty hard. Warlock, on the other hand, various builds can get you past that, or past Torment 12, excuse me. But yeah, just depends. They may be trying to nerf it down, but back to the point. Like, if your benchmark is T12 or T10, Torment 10, what's your endgame goal beyond that? Like, are you going to increase that? Are you going to allow us to get to T12 with every single build? Quote unquote, a coherent build? Or do you want us to hit 150? And if you don't, why, you know, to an extent, why have it? Like, I don't mind the fact that there's 150 pit. It's a goal that you're not technically meant to reach. I don't have an issue with that, but I know other players do. It's a completion thing. They want to be able to, if it's there, they should be able to reach it, kind of thing. I understand. I don't have a problem with that. But at this point, you know, you have to think of, your average player obviously isn't going to be happy with getting there easily. They need kind of a struggle, but not to the point of impossibility struggle. And at that point, if it's impossible, you might as well just reduce the amount of difficulty things that people can reach, because if nobody can ever reach it, there's no point really having it that high, kind of thing. So it's kind of like when hits went up to 200, nobody hit 200. It wasn't even a possibility back then. Now we have 150, and only gimmicky builds can do it. Ones that are clearly either abusing a mechanic, or they're bugged, or they're unintended consequences of various things. So yeah, more build variety and be able to reach things with a focus build. Yes, agreed. Like, we don't need, like, the opposite is, I don't want, oops, I don't want true parity. I don't want every single build to, like, cap out at, let's say, 5 trillion damage. It's not what I want. But I do want every single build to be within a decent range of each other. You know, I think every build, personally speaking, I think every build should be able to hit Torment 12 regardless. I think Torment 10 is not ideal. I think Torment 12 would be a better benchmark, because, I mean, that's essentially where the seasonal journey takes you. You're giving me objectives to do, you know, and granted, yes, they are aspirational, blah, 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 but still, they're objectives. I want to do them. It gives me something to work toward. Grinding my brains out to 300 Paragon and 150 Pit is not, I mean, it's a goal, but it's not for me. I'd never do that. I just don't have fun with it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way, Jack. Every build that hit T12, keep the pits for the best of stuff. Exactly. The people that, you know, want to keep pushing their builds further and further, I have no problem with that. Keep the pits for that. Anything that has objectives, to an extent, the seasonal journey, make that obtainable. Maybe not as easily as obtainable, but obtainable by every single build. And work with that mindset, and then trickle everything down from there. Because right now you have the mindset of Torment 10, but up 2 levels. Buff people to the point where they can do T12, so we can get everything done. I don't have a problem with that. Random junk from this lady. Or person thing. I guess you can summon them anytime, huh? Very easy fight. I mean, granted, I knew it would be. It's got +9 on it. Oh, okay, let's try this. Let's see what kind of mechanics he has. Oh. Fun. Okay. Alright, so you've got... These things don't... Ooh. Okay, so he teleports, he leaves behind these little... extremely slowing mines that eventually blow up, it looks like. Yeah, if you walk through the middle of them, it triggers them. Okay. Oops. Start to kill him now. Oh, go back to the middle. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave his shield up and see what he does. He does anything different. Ugh. The boss isn't that bad, to be fair. Trying to let him do all of his mechanics. Graphical glitch. A lot of teleporting around. Jumps on occasion. come. Holy cow. Oh, damn it. Until we read the... There we go. Alright. Where's your... Oh. Where's your box? There it is. Uniques. Charm. Alright, nothing major. Well. Also, if only certain builds can reach T12, why not just remove the other build skills? I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Why even have them at that point? I understand that point of view. Yeah. I don't blame you for that. Because, yeah, you see builds that clearly do better than you, and it makes your build just feel like, well, why do I even bother? Kind of thing. Basically takes the wind out of your sails. Nobody wants that in a game. You don't have to feel like you're basically being told you have to build this way if you want to complete what you want to complete in the game. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. I want to play something I want to have fun with and complete all my seasonal objectives. That's mostly what I'm after, is just seasonal objectives every season. Gives me a finite goal to work toward. Pits are not my finite goal. They just aren't. 300 Paragon is not my finite goal. I do not want to be grinding Paragon till my eyes bleed. I have not hit 300 Paragon whatsoever in any season. I haven't even hit it on Eternal, because I don't play that long. Oh, ad's done, sorry. But yeah, I do agree with you, Jack. And I know where you're coming from. I agree, everything should be at least T12 for seasonal objectives for me, anyway. I want to be able to do what I want to do in the game without being hindered horribly. I want friction, yes. Do I want friction of impossibility? No. Huge difference. I don't want to be told my build can't complete all the seasonal objectives. I want to be told I just haven't figured out the right combination of items that will get me there. You know. That's why you're sort of venting earlier. Yeah, I get it. Completely get it. It's one of those things where you don't want to be told what to do in a game that offers, well, offers the illusion of choice right now because of all the changes coming, but in general, yeah. You know, if you're going to give me the choice, let me make the choice and then get to where I can reasonably with that choice. Don't pigeonhole me into I have to go this route because my current route just won't get me there. Within reason. I mean, you got to work with the game. You got to know how the damage formulas work. You got to know how to synergize a build, obviously, but that's going with the game. Seen a game die because of that. Yeah. And obviously each game is going to do it differently. I remember, what was it? Wilson just fell off, but I want to say that was a mix of balance. It was a mix of lack of endgame content, various things that were going on in that game. I actually liked the game. It just wasn't great. Didn't capture me, so to speak. But it is what it is. Then I tried various other games in between that. In December I tried, which was just annoying as hell to get into. I haven't gone back to it since. One of those free-to-play RPG games. some sort. But yeah. Wizard 101 added slight damage buffs, but the grind for it was insane. Fun. Wizard 101. I remember that game. I gave it to my nephew back when he was... Oh god, I don't want to say how old he was because it's just going to make me sound stupid old. Not that I'm not stupid old, but I don't want to be reminded of it constantly. Oh god. Yeah, I got my nephew into the game of Wizard 101. He had fun with it for a bit. I don't know how it is now. I mean, it's been... I don't want to say how long it's been since he got into it way back when. And obviously he's out of the game now, but he went the path of FPS games, which arguably I am not great at. He could whoop my butt anytime in CSGO or whatever FPS game he loves to play now. Those were never my forte. I was never great at aiming and getting my butt whooped by 12-year-olds. Something very, very humbling about going into a video game where you just have a kid laughing at you and headshotting you from 500 miles away. You don't even know what the hell hit you. The subscription-based bit game, but it went incredibly bad with absurd level of grinding for PvP. Oh, okay. Yeah. PvP is not my forte in any game typically, but to each their own. I get the appeal behind it. And when I was younger, I dabbled in it. But these days, I am a lazy old man set in his ways. I don't want to have to deal with them damn teenagers killing me constantly. Oh, PvE. I'm sorry. Absurd level of grinding for PvE. Yeah, in a subscription-based game, that doesn't... I mean, there should be some grind, but not an absurd amount. Typo because you're thinking of something else. Gotcha. Probably because I said my nephew went into like CSGO. That's probably what triggered your PvP typo. That's what we'll blame it on. We'll blame it on me and my nephew. I'm okay with that. I don't mind. Alrighty. Well, it's time for me to call it a night. But it was fun. Thinking about D4 Season 4. Started to feel like Diablo Immortal PvP. Ooh. That's up. It is a horrible comparison, but I mean, it's kind of accurate. What? I'm coming. Alrighty, anyway. I've been summoned. I will see you guys tomorrow. Do a little bit more testing. Figure out what we can. But other than that, thank you for talking with me, Jack. Shimada. Cajun Asian. Vanilla. Vanilla was on YouTube. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow if you're here and join me. So, have a good night.